Hi everybody, I'm HP and today I'm going to talk about the Mixolydian mode, some theory behind it and how to use. I have an injury on my finger. I couldn't play it for 2 weeks and still I cannot play, so I thought, see it here, I got an infection from washing the dishes. You cannot believe this. So this is the perfect day to make a little bit of theory, because there I don't have to play so much. I cannot really play too well at the moment, but still can give some explanations which can be very useful for you to understand the Mixolydian mode. The Mixolydian mode is actually the most used mode of all beside the normal modes, which is just the major scale, which is nothing else than the Ionian mode, or the minor mode, which is nothing else than the Aeolian mode. But beside that one, Mixolydian mode is used most in blues or funk, but basically in blues or any kind of songs or tracks where you have like longer parts with like as an example E7 chord or A7 chord. And since blues is a summary of 7th chords, we use the Mixolydian mode basically on each track. So let's check it out on the close view. To understand the Mixolydian mode is very easy actually, because it has a strong relation to the normal major scale. We take as an example the A major scale here in the 4th fret. This is the normal A major scale, as you have heard many times before. Now, the difference between the major scale or Ionian scale and Mixolydian scale is only one note, which is actually the 7 becomes a flat 7. What does that mean? A scale is a summary of intervals. The normal major scale is the root note, then I have a 2, a 3, a 4, which is the interval. So 1 is a second, triad, a quart. What's a quart? I know it in German, and a quarte, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, and then we're back to the root. So we just need to make the 7, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to flat 7. Flat means you go half step down, and voila, Guizine says that's the Mixolydian mode. So, and this gives this scale here. When we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, here's the 7 flat, 7 will be here, which is a little bit, you can play it like this, or you can take this position here. With this method, you can play the Mixolydian scale any other position on the fretboard as long as you know the pattern in the major, like let's take this one here, A major here. Now you count through, and it's pretty important that you know the intervals of the scale, because we come to that in a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the 7, so we make a 7 a flat 7. But now I can see my finger better. It looks very ugly. I was afraid I'm going to lose it because it didn't really heal. That's why I have the green light on to heal my finger. So the 7 becomes a flat 7 and we take it here. And voila, we have the Mixolydian scale here in the 9th fret. I can speak a little French because Switzerland has 3 languages. We have French, Italian and German. English is actually not a mother language, but I grew up in Jamaica, so I'm a Rastaman, I know the English very well. So, now we have the Mixolydian scale. Now when we want to play Mixolydian scale, what does that mean? You play Mixolydian scale. Nobody in the whole world plays like scale up and down, because especially on the Mixolydian scale it sounds terrible. I'll show you how it sounds when you just play up and down. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? And there comes the second thing when we're playing in blues. You play Mixolydian scale only on the related chords. So we have an A, in the blues in A we have A7, D7, E7. So you play A Mixolydian on A7, D Mixolydian on D7, and E Mixolydian on E7, just as an additional note. Now, how we work out the Mixolydian scale? Most licks work around with the approach note on the triad. So now we find out what that means. So what's the triad? When we count through again, 1, 2, 3, that's a triad. So now we make an approach note. A chromatic approach note means half step down and approach it to the triad. So we have a lick, or when we go further, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 3 is a triad again. Approach note on the triad. Et voilà, we have it again. So now you can play something like. When you play the triad, and then you play around the chord note, which is the 5 and the 1. As an example, approach on the 3, now we go on the 5, back to the 1. Same thing up here, approach to the 3, 3, 5, 1. And now we have an Mixolydian lick, which is common use actually, more or less. And it sounds like this. Now it switches to D, now we have to switch as well. And so on. Now of course it would be cool when we could stay in position and not jump around. Jumping around is the easiest way because the patterns stay the same, but it's of course cooler when you stay in position. Now how we find the thing now, when we're in this position here, we play the D major scale when we want to have the D Mixolydian mode. This is D major. Now, as before, we replaced the 7 to flat 7. Flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flat 7, 1. And on the A as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, and so on. That's actually the way you really do that. And now you can adapt the lick you learned by knowing the intervals you're playing to the other Mixolydian positions. So, flat approach to the 3, 5, 1. Now we do the same in D. 1, 2, this is the 3, approach to the 3, 5, 1, and here on the E, approach to the 3, 5, 1, so now we can stay in position with the same thing. Comes to D. Up here. Yo. So this is the theory behind it, how you use the Mixolydian mode. And actually like 95% of the Mixolydian licks, especially on blues, work with that approach note on the 3rd. That would be a typical one here. And always when you play a lick, make an analysis of it, which intervals you're playing. So if you have this lick, now we analyze it. So approach note to the 3, 5, 6, half tone bending to the flat 7, release to the 6, 5, 4, approach to 3, to 1. And now we have it. So we can make the same thing now on the D Mixolydian. Same lick in a different position, find a new fingering, of course. This one is not really comfortable, so you maybe make it here. Yeah, the here is more comfortable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 2, here's a 3. So approach to 3, 5, 6, flat 7, 6, 5, 4, approach to 3, 3, and root. And same on A will be E. Will be like this. And now we have it. We can play the entire song. Ah, shit, that was wrong. That one was the right one. Yeah, so of course you don't play the same lick all the time. This is just for an exercise that you can develop your own licks and transpose them to other Mixolydian position, the modes or chords. I mean, the mode is always the same. You can take any one, but basically you always work with that approach. No, do you have any kind of or any kind of stuff which works around that flat 3 to 3. And that's the basic trick. And that really makes the thing cool, and at the end it will sound something like this. I don't use this finger now, that's why I only use 2 fingers now, but I can avoid the bendings. And so on. Well, that was a story about the Mixolydian mode. I'm sorry about my finger. I really was not able to show stuff really on the normal level. But if you ever had something like this, you might understand. I mean, it looks like something small, but I really carried around this thing very long. And it's not really painful, but it's really disturbing. And you can lose your finger with something like this. Yeah, so that was about Mixolydian mode. I hope you got the idea behind it. So if you'll ever learn a Mixolydian lick, analyze it, and then you can transpose it and move it around the whole fretboard in different positions on different chords. And that's basically the trick. And start to work with the intervals. I will post some more lessons about modes in the future, and it's always to understand which intervals are used. And then you can transpose any kind of licks. You can even transpose a Ionian lick to Mixolydian just by adapting the one different interval, the 7 to flat 7 and stuff like this. So have some fun and keep it going.